Hello my friends, I'm Andreas Tzermiadianos and today we will see some interesting games from the 8th round of the Batumi Chess Olympiad. Today it was a very interesting round. America beat Azerbaijan. It was the first loss of Mamediarum from Caruana. Caruana now won more rating. It is very close to Carlsen before the match. I think it's 4.5 points, rating points. I'm not sure, but it's very close. So, Poland, Armenia was 2-2 with 4 draws. Also, India beat Czech Republic. And Germany won 2.5 and England also won 2.5, and these teams are very close together in the third position. We will see how many points has every team after we finish the results. So China won 2.5, Croatia 2.5, and Russia beat Belarus 3-1. Greece unfortunately lost to Norway, and also it was very difficult the match for Cyprus because lost 3.5 to half a point from Bosnia Herzegovina. So as we see now here, the first is the United States of America with Poland second, and in the third place there is Azerbaijan, India, France, China, Armenia, Germany, England, and Russia is coming also. So it is very interesting. The last rounds will be very interesting. Tomorrow we have the match of Poland with United States of America, Azerbaijan with China, India with Armenia, Germany with France, England with Norway, Italy with Russia. So Greece is playing with Uzbekistan, a strong team also, and Cyprus is playing with Kosovo. So let's go to the women's section. To the women's section we have Ukraine that beat Armenia, China beat 3.5 Romania, USA beat Italy, and Hungary beat India. The Greek team, Russia also won 4-0, and the Greek team lost to England 2.5, 1.5. So tomorrow, let's see the ranking leagues first. So it is that China and Ukraine is first, but also there are coming a lot of countries: America, Hungary, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Kazakhstan, and Russia. So it's very interesting, and tomorrow the pairings are Kazakhstan, China, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, America, Hungary, and Armenia, Iran. Greece is playing with Costa Rica. So let's go to the games. The first game today, it is a game of Kramnik. He's white with Alexandrov. We have a Queen's Gambit, exchange variation, and also black go to an ending that we know it is better for white. Kramnik himself lost this ending from Carlsen. Okay, the problem is that these pawns are very weak, and as we say, when we have weak pawns, all the squares in front of them are weak squares and outposts for white pieces. Okay, so knight f3, knight d7, and knight h4. This is the way that Carlsen beat Kramnik also. Bishop e7 and knight e2. Now, knight b6 was the move that Kramnik played. Knight g3 and check. This was the game in Carlsen Kramnik. but Alexandrov play a line that is quite hot these days. Play f5, g3, and he takes on h4. Okay, this is better position for white, but it's stable position. It is not easy to make progress. Knight f6, rook g1, and now king e7. And now this is a new move. The idea is to put pressure on f5 so black cannot play easily knight h5 after knight f4. In the previous game, this is the novelty. After knight f4, knight h5 was playing. It's an interesting move. And bishop e2, it was again like a backgammon with all these pawns. And black keep the draw. Usmanov is playing this variation, many games of him that we can see in the databases. So in the game, Kramnik played bishop h3, it's quite a normal novelty. And knight f4 now that knight h5 is not possible. Of course, black can play knight h5 in the previous move, but okay. King d6, king d2, rook e7, and very good move. White start to create a second weakness. The first weakness is the f5 or the g line in the king side, and also he wants to play a5 or rook a3 and b3. Black played a5, rook a3, and rook b3. Okay, and now bishop g2, white has slightly advantage, and black played knight h5. It is quite normal, the reaction of Alexandrov. It is quite normal that because the bishop is not put pressure in the f5, he has time to play knight h5. But in this specific position, knight h5 is a bad move. How to continue with white is not easy. It's very interesting how Kramnik understands these dynamic positions. Before changing his style to play with Kasparov in the match, Kramnik was a very aggressive player, very tactic player. But after, I think, he understood that it was easier to become a world champion if he changed his style to a style that is not easy for Kasparov to play against. So that's why he became such a strategical player, and it was easy to become a world champion. It is the match that Kasparov didn't win a single game. Okay, so now he's playing quite tactical again. That's why we see him lose some games. He was mated on the chessboard some rounds before, but now he finds this very good move. You see, you have to understand all the technical nuances of the position. So king d7, very good move. Bishop b5 is coming, and now there's a threat of mate with rook d6. So it's not easy. Black has to move the rook and take on b7. It seems that what white has for the piece. Okay, he has some pawns, he has a better some attack on the black king, but it's another point that matters in this position. This is the point, the A pawn. As you see, it's very difficult for black to move his pieces from the center or the king side to the queen side to stop the A passed pawn that will be created. So f4, take and take. Simple. Now this is not possible because check, take, and the rook is hanging. So he played rook take h4, and also e6 is quite strong here, but also this is normal. Check, and now. Okay, it's never late to go wrong. So if you play this, you just lose. Okay, be concentrated during the game. Knight b3, king b3, sorry. Knight d2 check, and king b4. Now it is easy winning. It is easy winning. King c5, knight a5, check, 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 and king d6. The position, of course, is lost, and Alexandrov resigns because rook a6 is coming. Okay, a very good game from Kramnik. Let's go to see the next one. Now we are going to see some end games from the men's section. In this position, that is quite lost for white, because he has a passed pawn, but these two pawns is like one pawn, and so, as we can see, black has a pawn more on the king side, and the pawn is very dangerous. So, in this position, white tries something. It is quite interesting to see it before take a rook d3. Can you find how to continue in this position? It's not easy, but there is a threat. The threat is that white wants to play b3 at the position is equal. For example, d4 or any move, b3 a position is equal. I have one tempo and I'm just waiting. When you go to d3, I go to d5. Okay? Even if you sacrifice the d pawn, is nothing. So, of course, this is very easy to see, and that's why black played immediately b3, and it is winning for black. This check here, rook c2, rook e4, and b4. Now, how to continue? Of course, you must not go back. There is no reason for this, and also take the pawn and go back now. Okay, this is easy winning because the black king, after king c6, white resigns because the white king cannot go to f6 as f4 is coming. So even if he plays some h4, king d7, now king e7 is coming, so there is no chances for a white to save the game. Let's go to the second one that is very interesting. Let's start with a theoretical position so we'll understand better the ending. So this is a theoretical position. In every endgame that we have a bishop and a passed pawn versus a bishop, okay, this is going to promote to g1, we have to know the Centurini rule. What does the Centurini rule say? It says that, okay, the best position for king is to have this opposition, okay? If the white king cannot go to g1 to not allow the black king to come to f2, then it's better to have this opposition, to have a touch of the pawn, and also to have this is vertical opposition. So, in this position, you can put it anywhere in the chessboard, and you see we have the white bishop. So, in the the central square, that the pawn is going to become a queen. This is the d1 now, okay? We make this, okay? Now, if the pawn is after these two diagonals, so in this position, it is winning, okay? If it is not after, but before these two diagonals, wherever, it is a draw, okay? So, you understand that this is a very easily winning position. Okay, so let's go to see the game now. This is the game. Okay, in this position, white make a big mistake. This is the good move. All the time you have to put the bishop in front of the passed pawn, so when he moves away, to keep control of this square. Now, after bishop e8, the first move, bishop d5, and you see I protect the g2 and I protect also the b3. And also, bishop f7 is not possible because this is a draw, as we know. Okay? So, in the game, of course, it's time pressure, it is very late, and both opponents are very tired. It's quite normal to make such mistake. He played bishop d1. White played bishop d1, and now the end game is lost. Bishop e8, bishop c6 is coming, so bishop f3 is forced, and b3. Decoying of the white king, bishop e4, and b2. And now this move, okay? The bishop has to go away because the pawn is in the last stop, and the bishop has to protect b1, so black won the g2 pawn. Take, bishop goes back. Now g2 is a threat, So the bishop has to move and the king come here. So we see that the two best square for the white king, it is to be on g1. If it's not possible, the second best square, it is f6, okay, to have the position. We see now that according to the rule of Centurini, this diagonal, the g3 is not, it has passed this two diagonals, so it is winning for black even with the king on f6. So it is easy to understand that it's very easy to win with the king on c3. So white try to go to g1, that is not possible, of course. King f3, king e1, bishop e4, bishop h3, and now it's amazing that black didn't show this. Is a player with 2765. Bishop d3, not to allow the white king to come to f1. Bishop f1 and bishop f5. Now bishop h3 is not possible. He has to move the bishop. Okay, and king g2 is the winning move because the king is going to h2 and we have this bridge. Black has to build a bridge on g2, bishop h3, bishop g2, and it is finished with a lot of ways. Bishop b5 or bishop d7, bishop h3. Okay? In the game, what happened is that bishop b5 was played. Can you see how white can make a draw? White found it in the game and he took on f5. And after g2, this has come as a nasty surprise for Wang Yi. Take and check. What to do? So, let's go to the women's section. In the first game of the women's section, Uchenina is with white and Sargsyan is with black. d4, Slav, take on c4 and e4. This is a very tactical variation. And bishop e2. Now, it's very strange that black didn't play e6, that's quite a normal move. And he played this bishop g4. This is very bad move, it is a novelty. It seems strange that in the sixth move we have a novelty, but h3, sorry, this is novelty, bishop g4 was one game only, but this h3 is a very simple move, wasn't played, and white simply better. Now white has to take on f3, take, and e5 is very interesting idea. The idea is if you take, I can exchange queen and come to c5 with tempo because e5 is under attack. But okay, black played bishop h5 and now e5. Can you find how to continue with white? This is a very typical reaction. Okay, if you show the videos of Morphy, you will understand immediately what is the move. Not allow your opponent to complete his development. e6, very good move. Now f6 was forced, but also the position is very bad. After g, f take e6, knight g5, it's a very strong move. Castle and a4. White open also the queen side. The king on the middle has no time to make a castle, so we have attack from the e file and from this diagonal. So after knight c7, take and bishop g4, almost the position is almost finished. Knight b4, take e6 and queen f3. Queen d8, knight takes b5 and check, and black resigns. Let's go to the last one for today. In the last game, late king g8 is playing with white and Cosma Elena is playing with black. The black player is from Romania. I don't understand how it's possible to play in an Olympiad. Okay, I don't know basic theory, because all this game is almost all theory. Okay, e4, e6, it is a French defense, and we see this h4. This is the Aliahin's gambit. Knight h3 tempo and queen g4. This is quite normal variation. Knight g5, h5 because the h7 pawn was under attack. h5 and queen f4. Now white has advantage because of the weaknesses of the dark square. We see that all the black pawns are in the same color of this bishop, so there are a lot of weaknesses on the dark square. Knight c6, long castle, and now there's a lot of move with this move. Okay, white has some advantage, but it's okay, it's quite playable position. And also I saw this knight f8. I saw this move about 10 times from all of my students. You know the score? 10-0 for white. You cannot play such moves. Okay, knight f8 is not a move that should be allowed in chess. Okay, so don't do it. Don't make me nervous, please. In g4, all this is theory. Okay, knight h7, take, and bishop g2. So if you believe in your position, white has developed everything. Okay, so time is important because white has the time, and when you have the time and you believe in your position, then sacrifice to open the position. He cannot take because knight go to f6, take on h5, d5, everything is coming. Okay, so he played quite normal bishop d7, the bishop goes back, and now you take the pawn back, the gambit pawn that we give early in the opening, and now we take another one, so we have a pawn more. Rook h8, bishop g4, queen h4, and d5, very strong move. Now of course this is normal, and okay, white is better, but black can play for some moves, but also is bad position. Of course he has this check on h6 and move the knight, but I don't know how black choose to play knight b8. So in this game we have the first knight on f8 and the second one on b8. Now also this is very strong. Okay, take on e6, and now he doesn't took with bishop. I don't understand why not to exchange this bishop. Okay, queen f7, check, and a6, something like this. Okay, of course it's better for white clearly, but we cannot take the pawn and keep this bishop on d7 doing nothing and be passive. So knight e4, queen h6, exchange, and knight f6. The position is finished, and take the two pieces for a rook, and of course after some moves black resigns. So that's all for today. We'll have another video tomorrow with the 9th round. Thank you my friends, good night to all of you.